And a very good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Joe Fryhofer and Jason Longshore joining you this morning from the Children's Healthcare of Atlanta training ground. We have got a star-studded matchup for you today. It's Atlanta United 2 welcoming Belize here to the international stage for a fantastic friendly from Marietta, Georgia. They're still due on the surface this morning, Jason Longshore, as what you've coined as a little Saturday morning brunch.
I mean, you can't go wrong with brunch Caribbean style. You have Belize here, their national team. A lot of faces I'm excited to see. And it's a really fun matchup because you have Atlanta United 2 with a lot of young faces supplementing what we're used to seeing with the twos. A lot of academy players getting their first time playing with this group led by interim head coach Jose Silva. And then for Belize, we had the chance to talk to Charlie Slusher, their manager, yesterday. And this is an opportunity as they're missing a few of their regulars right now, but you have some young, talented players in the group with this Belize team that are going to be fun to watch.
Remarkable to see that as well. Of course, you saw 9 total players between the Atlanta United 2 side and the academy in general for this international window, speaking marvelous numbers to the work that's been done from not just Jose Silva in his interim stay, but also director Javier Perez as well, Chris Henderson. From top to bottom, the talent has been remarkable, and we're set to see that here today as we go quickly. We've got 11s here from both sides of Suarez, Kovac, Neri, Aluvabert, Armstead, Henry, Brown, Isaac, Armas, Ettinger, and Clarkson for the 5 stripes as we get going here. And Jason, I'll let you take it for Belize.
Yeah, we'll get into the Belize lineup as we go. The goalkeeper is going to be Charles Tillett. They do have a veteran goalkeeper with them as well. Tillett on the ball now up against the end line. And a misplay, so that's going to be a corner for Atlanta quickly. We'll get into the Belize lineup as we go, but right now they're going to have to defend a set piece very fast.
So the 5 stripes are already making their presence felt here as we approach 30 seconds. So again, it'll be the twos of Jose Silva going from left to right on your screen and Belize going from right to left as we see one of the best servicemen on this side here, Javier Armas, making his way all the way to that far corner flag. And he will send in the first ball of the first corner kick of the day today as we approach the first minute mark. Armas, tight service into that front post. Trying to see if they can get a boot onto it, scrambling in, and Belize trying to see if they can get a clearance out. It'll be taken on here by Neri, deflected, and then out again for a second corner kick. Jose Silva ball imposing itself here early.
It was good work by the captain, Daryl Myvet, for Belize to block that shot, the run-on attempt from Amir Henry. It's going to be a different corner now on the near side from Javier Armas. He's playing center back today. It's something that we've seen here lately for Atlanta United 2 as they play 3 in the back with Javi in the middle of that 3, the ball-playing center back that they want to use in build-up.
In comes that service again, low towards that front post, and it's in. What a finish. It's Rodrigo Neri. The Spaniard continues his flying form this season.
Neri gets to that at the near post from Armas. Great delivery. And Atlanta United 2 quickly starting on the front foot here today.
Happened so fast we were barely ready for it as we've already got a goal on the board here and just underneath the 2-minute mark. And that is the start that Jose Silva and Atlanta United 2 would like to see here on international friendly stage.
Neri with 6 goals this year in MLS Next Pro. He's been coming off the bench more as of late. That's a good one for him to start to build some confidence for the stretch run as the Twos chase a playoff spot in Next Pro.
And you talked about it. We'll get into the logistics of what it could mean here in the table in a little bit. Deflected pass here as it goes off of our head official. It'll stay with the Twos. They are in a historic playoff bout right now, of course, sitting on a healthy goal differential right now, and then they've got a massive matchup coming up next match day against Carolina Core, which, if they get the 3 points in that one, Jason, it could catapult them into 8th place.
Yeah, 2 straight on the road, Carolina Core and then Crown Legacy that the Twos will have to manage before coming back home to host Chattanooga in the home finale.
Neri, lovely little sombrero flick. He's got a runner, threads the lines. In comes Kovac all alone. Drops his shoulder onto his left boot. Deflected. Offside anyways.
Belize, their starting 11 in front of Charles Tillett, Jalen Lennon, Deshaun Nimhard, Andre Chi, Najib Guerra, Eldon Renault, Krishan Lopez, Daryl Myvet wearing the captain's armband, Alentz Ayala, Desmond Wade, and Carlos Bernardez.
And of course, we'd be remiss if we didn't mention we are thrilled to have the Belize national team here in Atlanta. An outstanding partnership between Belize and the club as well. We'll get into all of the beautiful things that you can see and experience in their country in a little bit. Here's Neri, who brings it down onto the feet of Suarez. Nice little drop of the shoulder. Deflected ball chips back into the midfield. The two stay on it. Trying to spread it wide out towards the fullbacks. Jose Silva, of course, loves to use a lot of fluid positioning as he tries to instill his play style in what's been flying form for the twos. They're back onto possession now. Dropped into the midfield for Brown. He'll go all the way back to Armas.
Good step on the far side from Grayson Armistead, the left wing back. He's on the ball now.
Armstead will instead drop back and avoid pressure. Back to Brown, and they'll cycle it all the way back to Ettinger.
The two central midfielders for Atlanta United 2 today, Demola Brown and David Olivabere. Two young academy players. Olivabere, high school sophomore. This is his first time mixing in with this level of competition.
Remarkable stuff, as we said there at the beginning. 9 total players between the twos and the academy, away representing their various nations. Lots of players to spotlight, but Jason, we said it before going into this broadcast, Rodrigo Neri, of course, the former canterano of Atletico Madrid, gets himself on the board here. He has been the hot boot so far this season.
Yeah, he's been very good in a very specific role for Atlanta United too, as Olivabere commits the foul. It's a challenge sometimes when you get first-team players coming down to play for the twos. Sometimes that'll cost Neri a starting spot, but he has contributed consistently for the squad. Really good tackle there from Amir Henry, another one of the Atlanta United Academy players playing a big role today.
And of course, Henry taking on Lopez there, who was trying to stretch the pitch and see if they can get Belize one of their first opportunities in here today. Deflected, dangerous clearance. Here comes Belize with an opportunity now. Drop of the shoulder, top of the 18-yard box. Bernardes couldn't get a clean shot off. Deflected into Armas. Ettinger will take his time as they try and play out at the back here. Here's Ettinger again. Filtered ball all the way up to Suarez. Kovac couldn't get onto it. Brown escorts it through the midfield. Here's Armas.
What you get out of Armas, he's a center back today, but he can almost turn into an old school stopper in front of the two center backs.
Here's a low ball into that front post. Belize comes onto it, layoff, and over the front crossbar. Good opportunity for the Jaguars here. It'll be a goal kick for the twos.
Bernardes laid that off to Andre Chi. 13 caps for Chi with the Belize national team. Bernardes is one of the key figures. He has 7 goals all time for the national team. He plays in Honduras. He was raised in Honduras, but born in Belize. Plays with CD Victoria in the Honduran First Division.
Brown lays it off to Armas. Forward in towards Henry.
Isaac on the ball, another one of the academy players with Atlanta United 2 today. Player who will have a decision to make down the line. He can represent Turkey or Nigeria or the U.S.
Clarkson, lovely ball over the top. In comes Kovac. Couldn't quite get his boot onto it. And then snatched up in the end by Tillett with the strong mitts.
Love that cross from Armistead trying to play Kovac in.
Here comes Belize the other way. Lopez. Splits 2 twos and then all the way back towards his back line as they'll sit on possession.
Guerra will help settle things a little bit on that back line, wearing the number 7 shirt for Belize.
All the way back towards Tillett, who will chip it long, chested down and flicked on. Nicely done there by Danil. They'll continue and build this up from the back, controlled in the middle.
Good work from Myvet, really kind of a shield for the back line in front. Good through ball intended for Bernardes.
Oh, now they're on. Here's Bernardes. Nice, strong kick save there by Clarkson. Another academy young man who is stepping up here today. Number 91 gets his first big save of the morning.
Clarkson going into his senior year in high school. He's committed to Cornell. Played 1 match for the twos earlier this year at Red Bulls 2. A late goal conceded in that one, an own goal. That was the only one conceded. Larson has really risen the ranks in the goalkeeper room with the twos.
First Jaguars corner of the day. It's Rodrigo Neri who's first to it. Belize able to keep possession. Long lofted ball from Guerra. Armas is the first one to get to it, but not quite enough. Crucial block there in the middle. and it'll roll all the way out for a goal kick.
Deshaun Nimhard going to let that one ride. Actually going to be a corner. That's why he let that go
as well.
Nemhard, the former South Georgia Tormenta player, made his Belize national team debut while playing for the Statesboro club. He's been involved in the U.S. system quite a bit as well, played for the Charleston Battery.
Here's the second Jaguars corner of the day. Better delivery that time, right into the heart of the area, but Suarez able to get a crucial clearance on it. Jaguars will stick with it and come the other day.
Yeah, smart from Suarez there. Really no need to risk anything. Allow your team to get reset, but here comes Belize again up the left.
Nice 1-2 between Guerra and Danu as well, but twos will go back the other way.
Yeah, just got away from Guerra after the 1-2 with Eldon Renault, the 22-year-old who plays for Verdes FC, one of the top clubs in Belize.
Now we'll go back the other way with Belize as they tried to work it in with a quick throw, a little bit of 1-2 between Henry and Neri, but couldn't quite get their spacing. All the way back we go to Nemhard.
Dalen Lennon in the middle of the back line for Belize, under pressure from Kovac. Rides that off.
We'll flick it out all the way wide. Two very different play styles. Of course, we had an awesome opportunity to catch up with Belize head coach Charlie Slusher as they work it in over the top. Henry caught off guard here. Crashing run inside for Guerra, but he ends up catching up the distance. And he's able to get back onto possession as well. Here comes that pressure. And as head coach Charlie Slusher told us yesterday, they're all about transition, vertical play, and making sure they can win those second balls and give you a nightmare at the back line.
Good work initially by Oluvabir, but then he got caught up against the touchline. For the Atlanta United Academy players here, the speed of play is going to be the biggest challenge. As you mentioned, Slusher said what he wants from his Belize team is to play fast, get runners forward like this.
There's that speed, and here comes Danu. He's got a couple of runners at that back post. Filtered ball to the top of the box. Armstead makes the crucial clearance.
Another big play from Grayson Armstead.
Touchdown nicely by Guerra. Belize will instead flip play over to the other side, but Armstead once again climbing up the pitch and squeezing them all the way in towards their back line. One back by Kovac nicely. And here come Jose Silva's twos continuing to squeeze all the way up the field as we approach the 11-minute mark.
It's a really good little ball from the goalkeeper, Tillett. Played Nemhard. Nemhard with a nice ball to Bernardes.
And here's Adamas, who's going to have to track all the way back one-on-one with Bernardes. He'll take it onto his favorite right boot. Armas shoulders him down there in the box. We'll play on.
Good little test of the referee from Bernardes. Run into the defender there. See if you're going to get anything out of it.
A little
good no
whistle
call.
Check.
Yeah. Got to check. Got to test.
Touchdown by Suarez. Another guy, Jason, as you said, we are so excited to watch him today and see what he can do. As we've got a player down here for the twos. We'll take a quick look.
Isaac.
Looks like he's just holding on to that right leg there.
Yeah, not sure if he felt something or not. It's early in the season for the academy players, and that's why it is kind of an interesting mix today, because the academy players are coming off of a summer off season. This is the first week of academy action, so you have the youth teams for Atlanta United playing today, but it's a short preseason for them, so players are not fully fit coming back in, whereas you have the Atlanta United 2 players who are towards the end of their season. So the fitness levels are a little bit of a challenge here for Atlanta United, and we'll see if Isaac will be able to continue, or if we get maybe Sal Masafero checking in, or Ronan Wynn. It looks like it's Wynn who is warming up on the far side.
Of course, one of the best events of the entire season every single year is that academy dinner that they had held over at Mercedes-Benz Stadium not long ago. A couple of iconic keynote speakers, of course. We saw Brad Guzan, Chris Henderson, and our very own Jason Longshore was in attendance as well. Jason, what'd you get out of that evening?
I always love that event. It's really cool when we get a chance to meet guys like Dominic Chonqui when he's 13, 14 years old, and we meet him there, and then a few years later he's playing for the first team in the stadium.
Oh.
I mean, it's such a cool moment to see the excitement from the kids, from their parents, and just from the club as a whole to treat the academy as such a big deal. The dinner is a great thing, but something like this as well, where they get a chance to play a national team and really test themselves against some of the best of CONCACAF.
I thought one of the most powerful speeches as well from goalkeeper Brad Guzan is saying that somebody is going to represent the five stripes that's here at this dinner right now. And you see so many of those kids who are chasing those dreams right now. Here's Kovac trying to filter a ball in once again to Neri. Couldn't quite get it, but he'll continue his press forward as Belize plays right out of it. Here's Guerra. Another one of those typical over-the-top runs from Lopez, who's continued to make that same tracking run. Bernardes can't keep a handle onto it. Throw in here for Henry.
Like Isaac is going to be able to continue. We'll see if he'll be able to stay on for the rest of the half. We'll see subs for Atlanta United 2 in the second half. But Isaac is back on.
Into the middle, here's Armas, the man that keeps this entire cog organized. Of course, you said it, Jason, his ability to play in multiple positions. Here's Armistead, nice little filtered run as he goes for that front post. I think he tried to find that boot of Kovac into the middle, but service just got away from him.
Yeah, so far in this one, about 14, 15 minutes in, Grayson Armistead has stood out to me. Senior in high school at Alpharetta, headed to Davidson in the fall of next year. But we've seen this before where guys get these kinds of opportunities at the beginning of their senior year. Armistead could be a factor for Atlanta United 2 early next season, especially if he continues to play like this.
Foul there. Armas just took a little elbow over the back there and a long ball over to Bernardes.
You have two crafty veterans in Armas and Bernardes going to be dueling on lots of different fronts today.
We've seen plenty of it already.
Javi, the product of the Racing Santander Academy before going to Oregon State.
Something fascinating to me as well is just that Spanish connection, of course. Jose Silva, Caparros over there on the touchline. He stepped in after the departure of Steve Cook earlier this summer. And not only his ability to be able to coordinate with his captain, as we see another run into the other Spaniard, Rodrigo Neri, as well. Two key players sharing their same homeland there as well. And this team has found a flying identity, Jason, of course. Unbeaten in their last 3 at home. And you mentioned it, they're going to have to take 2 in a row on the road if they want to continue this historic playoff push.
Yeah, the Eastern Conference in MLS Next Pro is wide open right now as Atlanta United 2 will earn a free kick here in the attacking third. And, of course, Armas is going to step up to take it. We'll talk a little bit about the system that Jose has kind of adopted here with the twos. It really suits the players that he has at his disposal. And it's a tough job because the players that he has at his disposal will vary week to week, day to day.
In comes the service of Armas, of course, the leading big chance creator. Here's another one as he tried to find the forehead of Kovac, but couldn't get onto it. And here, as we said, in the words of head coach Charlie Slusher, they always love to climb onto the counter. Couldn't quite get through the twos midfield there. Nicely done to maintain possession.
Good defending from Nemhard in that moment to win the header off of the ball from Armas.
There you see another lovely lofted ball in over the top, and here come the twos once again. Instead of pressing on the gas, they'll cycle it back through and see if they can get a switch in here, and they can.
That time it was a center back, Ettinger, who was high up the field. He didn't really like being that high up the field, so he said, you know what, I'm going to get back into my spot. Grayson, you go higher up the field and make something happen.
A little pump with the brakes, but nothing wrong with it as well. Isaac with a nice little service right onto the badge there of Ettinger as he climbs forward once again. Top of the box for Neri. Nice magnetic touch and a layoff. Here's Kovac, pass 1. Kovac, pass 2. Kovac! The twos put up 2 here in the 404. And it's Kovac, number 39, stepping up in here for a little added protagonism to give Atlanta United 2 the brace.
It's a huge opportunity for Arif Kovac, the 18-year-old who came to Atlanta from St. Louis, went pro rather than chasing the college ranks. And he's had a lot of injuries here. He struggled because of injury to get going. But if you get another goal scorer potentially in this stretch run for the twos, and Kovac getting one here today is massive for his confidence. That was a well-taken finish. But let's go back to the beginning. The ball from Isaac,
Oof.
Long diagonal, right on a dime to Grayson Armistead. Well worked by Atlanta United Academy players and Atlanta United too.
Such an accurate ball. It felt as though he picked out one of the stripes on the shirt of his teammate there as he switched it into that far corner. And then, as you said again, Jason, just the composure there of Kovac to be able to slip past the center backs and continue to climb into this match for the twos. And Jose Silva ball continuing to gain notoriety here on the international stage. Let's see now how Belize responds. Of course, they thrive in these kinds of situations. And again, we all know in football, 2-0, the most dangerous score in the game. Here's another threaded ball filtered in there through Kovac. Too much shoulder and elbow there as he tried the little chip finish in over the crossbar. Won't go. Will go the other way.
Nembhard got the position that time, able to draw the foul. That's the difference in about 12 years of experience. Deshaun Nembhard knows what Kovac is going for. Get to the spot, make him foul you, and then get the call. You don't want to chase Arif Kovac around. He's a big boy up top for Atlanta United too, but as we saw the silky skills inside the 18, he's a handful, and it's good to see him getting going now for the twos.
We talked about it as well, Jason, just the positional fluidity of this side too. As you see Javi Armas continuing to climb further up in this formation. Neri will just caress it with the outside of his boot into Suarez. Lay it off here. Aluvaber. Switch it all the way over to Ettinger.
Now it's Ettinger. Armistead, always an option on that left side.
Here's Henry. Nice little touch as he receives that pressure right away from Belize.
A little bit of a step there on Christian Lopez. One of the most experienced players in this group, 26 caps at 26 years old. He's got 3 goals for the national team. Gets possession back for Belize after getting stepped on.
And I know, Jason, we call you the godfather of football here in Georgia, but I think we need to expand that region to greater. As Jason Longshore always bringing all the information on these sides here today. Again,
I haven't even gotten into the Belize-Atlanta connection yet.
He's saving
we'll get into that.
Stay tuned here, of course, as we're thrilled to be with you guys. Jason Longshore and Joe Fryhofer. Atlanta United 2's taking on the Belize national team. The Jaguars, seeing if they can climb back from this 2-0 deficit here. Nice receiving of the ball and pressure in the middle there. Brown will dance away from a few, and Armas dropping back into his usual position there in the back 3.
Demola Brown so clean on the ball, the number 50 for Atlanta United too.
Chip ball in over the top once again. Kovac could indeed get a toe onto it. Sprays it away from defensive pressure. Far side for Henry.
Stayed with it. I like that from Kovac. He didn't give up on the play.
Brown, top of the box for Neri, who shows. Lovely bit of build-up. Look at this, the triangle passing as well. This is lovely service working in and around the area. Armstead will try and climb all the way onto it, but the Jaguars snatch up possession back as you see Armstead immediately sticking in the shoulder, and rightfully so. Here's Suarez, nice little drop of the shoulder as he goes around 1, around 2, down in the box. What have we got? Penalty.
Iggy Suarez with the first touch, the little slide with the touch, gets around the defender, then cuts in, draws the contact. The 16-year-old recently scored his first goal for Atlanta United 2, the youngest goal scorer in team history, and he earns the penalty, so he's going to take it.
Love that nod as well from Rodrigo Neri, who stepped up right away to grab the ball, and they're going to give it to the young fella. So here comes Iggy just before the 22nd minute mark here in this first half. Can he make it 3? It's Suarez! What a finish. Bottom right and tidy as can be. It's 3 for Atlanta United 2.
One of the jewels of Atlanta United's academy pipeline, Ignacio Suarez. Just a well-taken play all the way around. The penalty from him, excellent. We go back to the sequence that led to it. It was David Aluvaber with the big switch into space, not directly to Armistead, but into space to open things up. Belize defended it well. Atlanta then counter-pressed, won the ball back quickly, and Suarez drove it goal, drawing the penalty.
So that'll make it 3 now for Jose Silva and his twos. And again, just talent from top to bottom here in this academy system that we have here at Atlanta United. Such big courtesy to Chris Henderson, to Javier Perez as well. They're making their jobs difficult for these guys as they continue to climb up in the ranks. And now we see the twos working their way from left to right once again outside of the boot service as he caresses it there into Henry. Another academy product way outside of the box is Neri, who's showing and continuing to increase his work rate. Suarez says, let me see if I can get another here. Calls for service. Nicely done as he takes that touchdown. They'll cycle it all the way in towards that back line. Here's Brown. Up towards Neri, 1-2, worked nicely, then again. Try to see if they could slip it in through to Suarez, who continues his pressing work along with Neri as well. And they're not done. There's still more juice in the battery. Here comes Neri all the way out to that far right wing. Guerra will instead work it into his back line. Flicked on nicely. Once again, an over-the-top long run there from Eddie. Header won nicely by the Jaguars. It'll be headed out in a throw for Belize.
Nimhard with another big win in the back for Belize. Love the range of passing we're seeing from Iluvabir in the midfield. A good combo with him and Brown. Brown commits the foul that time around, trying to win it back high up the field. Gets the yellow card for it. A little too aggressive there from Brown, fouling Chi. Well, we talked about counter pressure for Atlanta United too. It's something that with the first team, the second team, the academy teams, I think we're seeing that identity really start to filter through Atlanta United on the whole. And here it is from Ignacio Suarez.
And speaking of filtering, Iggy comes crashing up through the midfield and snatches away possession.
Good pressure from Suarez. He'll draw a foul for Atlanta. But this is a team, and I think Atlanta United as a club, that will always want the ball. They'll always want to attack. But you don't have to have 70% of possession to be successful, especially the way the game is kind of tilting. It's about, as the referee's getting everything reset here, it'll be in Atlanta. Oh, no, it's going to be a Belize kick.
Go the other way with it.
So counter pressure, when Atlanta has that possession, they get into the attacking half. When they lose the ball, they immediately try to win it back. Think old school Barcelona.
Yep.
And you're seeing that now with this group, which is a mix of academy and second team. The first team, as they have played better soccer this summer, the counter pressure has been the major element to make everything else unlock.
Nice little 1-2 worked in. Here comes Belize trying to respond here. It's Danu making a run in towards that front post. He'll filter it in towards the top of the box, and they'll sit on possession once again. Guerra with plenty of time. Lofted ball with that left boot. Coming off of his line nicely, there's Clarkson once again. He hasn't been tested too many times so far, but Jason, he's responded with big confidence here. First that kick save, and then coming off of his line to take it out of the sky there.
Yeah, that was a good ball from Guerra. Distribution not quite there to Armistead, but it's won back by Atlanta momentarily. It'll be a throw for Belize. I like that ball from Guerra, intended for Desmond Wade on the backside. Wade is one of the players that Charlie Slusher is looking at with this Belize national team as they try to kind of increase the talent pool to be a goal kick for Atlanta. This is a national team that joined CONCACAF in 1986. The first time they participated in World Cup qualifiers was the 1998 cycle. They made it to the Gold Cup tournament, the finals tournament in 2013. That is the high water mark for Belizean football. But last time around in the Nations League, which has been great for Belize and other nations in CONCACAF, they're back into the B level. So this is a team on the rise, but they've got to find some extra talent. There's some young players coming we'll talk about as we go today.
Speaking of young players, here's another academy player on the day. Henry makes a nice stretching run in towards that far right corner, towards the end line. Couple of options here. Swinging ball in towards, once again, guess who? It's Kovac. Brought down nicely by Iggy. And Suarez will flick it out.
But look at that early ball again from Iluvabir. The 16-year-old, he's a high school sophomore, came to Atlanta United's academy from GSA up in Gwinnett County, and he's looking the part here in the early going.
16 years old as well. When I was 16, I was on the couch watching Ibrahimovic highlights, dreaming of touching this surface. Not bad, young fella.
I'm not going to tell you what highlights I was watching at 16, and it wasn't on YouTube.
Try not to age himself here, but he's got all the knowledge, starting to bring out some of those nuggets. Thanks so much for joining us here this morning. Javi Armas. We'll switch it out the other way as the twos continuing to impose themselves as we make it towards minute 30. Nicely done. Chipped away from pressure. Here's Brown. Two come onto him. The Jaguars are able to work out of it. Another long ball over the top here. Trying to squeeze onto that Atlanta United 2 back line. It has been physical. It has been crashing so far. And Belize trying to see if they can somehow work themselves out of this. This is a bit nicer from them, starting to build out of the back and see if they can sit on possession for a bit longer.
This is nice work from Ettinger to bottle up Bernardez. Back to Tillett.
Nemhard elected to go all the way back to Tillett. In comes some more of that pressure here. Ooh, that's
nice
a fancy
work by
little
Renault.
touch. Renault goes all the way around. And here he comes one-on-one with Armas. He'll crash onto his right. Nicely done there by Javi Armas. Stuck in the boot at the perfect time. And and they're able to go the other direction with it.
Armas as a center back is fascinating because he is not a typical center back, but he reads the game so well that he can get stuck into tackles like that.
Foul there on Henry, so the twos will stick with it. And you said it, Jason, of course, not anything remarkable physically, but just the way he can read the game so early. He rises brilliantly to those high balls, and you see him right now communicating with his back line as we see one of our first substitutions on the day. It's going to be the Belize Jaguars making the change.
Desmond Wade checking out. And coming into the match is Naeem Wilson, the 28-year-old who plays for Progresso FC. 7 caps in official competition for Wilson.
So here comes Silva ball into the middle for the tactician Armas. Filtered in for Suarez, who found himself a little bit higher. He'll flick it on to Armistead. Low filtered ball in towards Kovac. Handled nicely by the Jaguars.
When you're able to pin teams in this shape, this 3-4-2-1 that Jose Silva has consistently played, you can get a lot of numbers forward into dangerous areas. That goes over the end line for a goal kick. You have the 3 center backs in Isaac, Javier Armas, Elon Ettinger. You have the 2 central midfielders in Demola Brown and David Aluvabir. But then when you get those wing backs in Armistead and Henry high up the field with the 2 10s and a 9, you can really flood the zone, because what happens is you start to pin a team in, Brown and Aluvabir can step up higher. Then with Armas as a center back, he can be the joker and step up, and nobody's expecting it.
Well, here come Belize as they're able to win back possession in a lovely area. Couldn't quite crash it out here. Here comes the new filtered ball into the middle. Perfectly timed tackle from the twos.
Ettinger with another nice play defensively. He flies under the radar at times. Elon Ettinger came over from Houston's academy last year. Just very, very solid in the back.
Aluvabir looking for options. Here comes Neri higher and higher up into the pitch in this match so far.
I like the freedom that Rodrigo Neri has in this shape. We've seen him typically as a 9 with Atlanta United too. That's where he's played most of his career. But as a 10 in this 3-4-2-1, as Isaac sits down again, probably going to get subbed here shortly, as it looks like Ronan Wynn's getting closer to be ready to go. Neri in this setup, he's got total freedom. He's a 10, but he can pop out wide on the wing. He can go up and become a second 9.
Yep.
Or he can drop back and kind of close the accordion a little bit and help the team build out of the back. I think we've seen a couple times here lately, Isaac, he's feeling the effects of whatever got him earlier in the match. He's had a couple of 1v1s that he's been a little slow to react to. He's tried to gut it out. He had that great switch that led to a goal to Armistead. Defensively, I think the pace has caught up to him a little bit, and maybe more than anything because of the injury. Good elements from his game, and he's just such a fascinating story. The son of a Nigerian legend in Isaac Promise, who was born in Turkey when his dad played there.
Wow. And
he's gonna be a player that the Turkish youth national teams are gonna look at, the Nigerian youth national teams are gonna look at, and he's eligible to represent the U.S. And he's going to be one that as you start to look down the line, probably next year in MLS Next Pro, he can factor into that team next season.
I'm just thankful I'm not involved in some of those decisions that have to be made, as well as, of course, we saw Ronan Wynn getting a couple of warm-up steps in there on that far sideline out there. Of course, Wynn as well spent some time with the first team in preseason.
Yep.
We got to see him take some action against Chattanooga earlier in the preseason as well, and if I'm not mistaken, I believe he ended up on the score sheet in that match also.
Yes, he's a player who was really involved throughout the preseason for the first team. The New Zealand native who played in college at the University of Denver. He can play on the center back role. He can play as a fullback. He can play as a wing back. We've seen him a little bit in the midfield as well. I think the next step for him at the pro level is kind of settling into a spot. He's been a very solid player for Atlanta United too all season long. 23 appearances, 21 starts. He's got a goal. He's got an assist. Looks like Isaac is going to try to get to halftime here. He was having a conversation with Jose Silva. Looked like Jose was kind of asking, can you go? Can you get there? He's going to try to come back in. Ronan Wynn sat back down.
It's one of those tough ones because most of the time it's a rhetorical question there when you get that from the gaffer. But we'll see if he can stick it out, of course, as we're just about 12 minutes away from that halftime mark, depending on added time in this one. Of course, the Unbeliezables, their last match in competitive action was on the 7th of June. One of their more compelling ones against Panama. As you see a long ball in there toward that far right corner of the area towards Nettie. Belize will climb back onto it. There's a lot of coaches on this Belize staff who played as goalkeepers as well. And we talked with Charlie Slusher, who told us yesterday, Jason, that he's one of those gaffers. He's more of a communicator. He's a direct guy. And having played goalkeeper as well, of course, with his assistant coach and Shane Oreo, who played keeper as well for this Belize national team, they will be verbal from the touchline. They're not ones to sit down and let a whole half pass and think things through till halftime. Getting his orders in here to see if he can get his Jaguars stuck back in.
I mean, you know, goalkeepers are going to be some of the most vocal people you can find. I mean, Brad Kazan is probably yelling somewhere on a field right now. I feel like I can hear it.
I think so, too.
You know, his kids are probably playing this morning, so Brad is yelling from the sideline. It would not surprise me. Goalkeepers see everything. You know, you have a different field of vision as Isaac back on, and look at that diagonal from Isaac.
To the laces. Into the middle, Neri. All the way back for Louvabert. 1-2 between him and Brown. Assessing his options. A couple of long switches so far today. We've known that that's one of the key pieces of Javi Armas's game, but to see it from the full-fledged 11 here today, again, another very different-looking 11 for the twos, as they're missing a couple of guys for international duty. Cooper Sanchez, Dominic Chong-Kui. Here's Henry. Nice bit of fluid feet as he's able to slip it into the area. Neri in towards the top of the box. Suarez! Over the crossbar and out for a goal kick. What an opportunity for Iggy right there in the 35th minute.
Really like the work from Amir Henry to make that happen. Neri with a nice little run inside the 18 in the cutback, but Amir Henry makes something happen out of nothing there. Suarez can't keep that shot down after the cutback from Neri.
Fair enough as well, must be said for head coach Charlie Slusher and Belize. They're also missing, like you said, Jason, a couple of very key players here today. So, again, this timing with the international window, difficulties of traveling with club teams, and Charlie was able to tell us that they've actually got a couple of players in some different nations as well, and you see just the popularity of the Belize Premier League continuing to gain traction as well. And this, of course, we are so honored to be on this broadcast and be with you guys for this outstanding partnership between Atlanta United and Belize as well. As we approach halftime, we'll get to tell you guys all the cool things that you can experience. Here's a filtered ball in once again, as he couldn't quite track it down, but nice work there by Neri as he looks to accompany him. See if they can stick in the shoulder. Avoids the body there. Nicely done as he keeps it in play. Neri goes to ground and might have gotten a bit too much of the man there as well. Foul down on that far end line.
Suarez doesn't make the play happen there, but that's one of those highlight clips that Jose Silva and his staff will point out and praise Ignacio Suarez for, as he stayed with the play. He doesn't win the 1v1. He immediately counter-presses, wins the ball back, gets into a battle. It doesn't come off. There's a foul. Neri will get a yellow card for the late challenge. But that counter pressure is such a key element. You have to have attackers being willing to defend in the modern game. And we're seeing that across the board with Atlanta United players. You mentioned the big switch as well. How many times has Ronnie Dyla talked about that this season? Again, it's identity from top team all the way down to the academy teams. You've got to be aggressive. You've got to be willing to win the ball back high up the field, and you've got to look to switch the point of attack from side to side quickly.
And that starts from top to bottom. Outstanding work by our scouting team here as well with the first team in the academy system. There's no place like footy in the 404, and that's why we're enjoying it this morning with some Saturday brunch, as Jason Longshore liked to call it. We'll work it all the way back for the Atlanta United 2's back line. Louvabert surveying his options. Neri wanted it onto his feet. They'll find him in the end. A couple of runs. Long shot. Dances away from him there. Wide and right for a goal kick.
Yeah, left the hips open a little bit, striking that one, but such a quick release, Rodrigo Neri, after the combination play through the middle that Louvabert was heavily involved in.
And here we see head coach Charlie Slusher there over on that far touchline. In the beige long sleeves, starting to give some of his orders here as he sees his Jaguars working out of the back. The twos continuing to stick in that pressure and that press. Long ball filtered over the top, able to get his forehead onto it. Nicely done. Once again, the twos are somehow able to squeeze out of possession here. It's Brown who will flick the header all the way on back. Armistead will work it in. Ettinger all the way back to Clarkson, who hasn't had too many touches so far here today, but it's always nice when you're in that far back position to get a couple of touches with your feet and feel like you can get yourself stuck into the match.
Yeah, good with his feet, Ruben Clarkson. A player who's been training with the twos pretty much most of the season, was in high school at Whitfield Academy, and really started to factor into twos training sessions over the summer. He got that start in New Jersey against Red Bulls too. He's been on the bench again since then. It's a talented goalkeeper room with the academy and with the twos, with James Donaldson now signed to a pro contract.
Yep.
John O'Ransom is away with Canada's youth national teams. You always see, Jaden Hibbert's factored into the first team now, but we saw him with the second team. Josh Cohen's gotten a few games with the second team. There are a number of goalkeepers in the Atlanta United system at the moment who are pushing for minutes.
Here come the Jaguars trying to find that filtered ball in through the back line. Can they get it as it squeezes just far wide of that right post? A key deflection, and here come Belize just at the turn of the half with a big corner.
Ettinger got caught that time around, and Belize were able to take advantage through the middle. They'll get a corner here late in the first half.
What a key deflection in the area as well. Just a step at the last second. Clarkson thankful for that one, as he'd like to think he had it covered. So here comes a Jaguars corner. Just a hair over 5 minutes to go in this first half, and Jose Silva's Atlanta United twos up 3-0. Long ball into the heart of the area. Clarkson well off of his line. Here's a touch and a flying volley that goes far over the crossbar there. Lopez tried the unbelievable, and it'll be a goal kick for Clarkson.
Good service from Renault. Clarkson came out aggressively, confidently, punched that away. Lopez went for the volley from the top of the 18. We've talked about Belize and where the program is right now. It is kind of the start very early on of a new cycle. This is a team that wants to qualify for Gold Cups. They want to get that competition. They want to continue to press in Nations League and kind of solidify themselves in that B level. They didn't make it into the final round of qualifying for 2026, so you're looking ahead to 2030 in the long run. But in the short term, you're looking to compete in Nations League and you're looking to qualify for the next Gold Cup. That would be massive for the Belize program.
The tidiness of some of the dribbles as well here from Suarez, as he shows all the way, working in with his fullbacks. And as you see some more stretching runs from Armistead. Player down, as we saw a little collision there, as Kovac, of course, trying to take advantage of his bigger size here, Jason, and trying to get his weight over his feet as well as he makes his runs.
Yeah, Kovac, I feel like he's grown a little bit since he got here to Atlanta as well. Which
since the game started,
do you see it? He's a giant young forward, but at times, it can be a little difficult in terms of that balance, and you've got to figure out how to use the body in moments and not get called for things. We saw it with Javier Armas earlier. Experience will bring you that, and Kovac is still gaining that experience in the early going in his career.
Ettinger nicely done to be the first one to head it away on that goal kick, and here comes Belize, seeing if they can break past that midfield with some piercing runs here. Instead, ball got away from him. It'll be a throw for the twos here with just under 4 minutes to go. Switch of play over to Isaac. Isaac, who's been tidy in his movement, trying to make sure he thinks of his health first here and not try anything crazy, as he's mostly stayed home in this one. Aluvaber will spread it wide for Armistead, all the way back in towards Ettinger. Jose Silva over there likes what he sees so far. Hands on hips as he's making his orders from that far sideline as well right there. And the twos have got some tidy options on the bench as well, Jason. Lots of high-flying football that you could see Jose Silva dip into in the second half. Here's Neri with a nice little turn away from pressure, and they'll work it all the way back.
Yeah, still some young players on the bench for Atlanta United too, but also some veterans, as Jose Silva wanted to take a look at some of the starlets out of the academy for Atlanta United to start things. We'll see subs in the second half, as it is an exhibition for Atlanta United too. They've got competitive games that all these players will be involved in here really soon.
Armistead, drop of the shoulder, kept it on the carpet, trying to see if Neri could get that deflected second chance, but couldn't. And here comes that press once again. Suarez sticks his toe into it and able to win possession back. Shields the ball here as they find the feet of Neri. Lovely quick turn as he gets fouled just around the edge of the box there. These are always my favorite arguments there, Jason, as well. As they tee up the ball, I think this favors my foot. I think I could get a nice little in-swinger into the back post.
Yeah, it's an interesting one because it's just outside the 18. Armas is going to step up and take control of the situation. He can absolutely go to goal from here with his right foot, as a yellow card is shown for the challenge on Neri. Armas can go over the wall and into the near post. He could try to curl it into the back post, but he can also serve it up with big targets for Atlanta United too, in Kovac, in Neri, in Ettinger, who has come up in this one. You've got a lot of possibilities for Armas to serve one here, but we've seen him on these free kicks during his time here in Atlanta. He could also go to goal.
I think those of us who've joined us on the stream this morning, we not only want to say good morning and thanks for starting your day with us, but I think a lot of those who are showing up for some 404 footy brunch, they would like to order a free kick as their main dish here. As you see Armas, hands on hips. He'll take his couple of steps back. He's got options in that heart of the area. Kovac is there as well. Armas over it, floating ball in towards that back post, over the crossbar for a goal kick.
Overcooked a little bit there.
Nicely done. I was waiting for that.
Yeah, you know. Done this a few times.
Goal kick for Belize as we work our way into this halftime. And of course, we'd be remiss if we didn't mention that Belize, one of the countries out there in the world, Jason, that offers remarkable natural beauty. Of course, they've got the second largest barrier reef in the world. It's a little bit under a 3-hour flight here from our wonderful Hartsfield-Jackson Airport, which you can catch a Delta flight right on over there and enjoy some of the natural beauty as you see their national team showing off some of the beauty of their style of play here today. As Neri welcomes the ball back onto the inside of his foot. He'll caress it in towards his back line. As we have reached the 45-minute mark, it'll be an additional 2 minutes of added time. And Jose Silva would like to sit on this result and calmly cruise their way into halftime as head coach Charlie Slusher of the Jaguars will talk things through here shortly. Unable to get a proper clearance. Henry working his way in onto it. It'll be a throw for the Jaguars.
Yeah, smart from Daryl Myvet, one of the veterans in this team. 28 caps, the 31-year-old plays with Verdes. Verdes, a team that we've seen in CONCACAF competition quite a bit. A lot of players in this group today for Belize come from Verdes, either developed there or currently play there.
Here's a stretching run there from Renault. Drop of the shoulder, loses his marker, and he's able to get a ball into the heart of the area. Just couldn't get a forehead onto it. Oh, that was a brilliant Jaguars chance as we approach halftime.
Bernardez was close to that one. Climbing the all-time goal-scoring ranks for the Belize national team program.
Long ball chipped into Kovac. So chest it down and shield the ball away from pressure. Sticking in the tackle there. Here comes Armas to respond back the other way with a long switch. It'll work perfectly as it curls its way into the laces of Suarez. He'll keep it on the carpet. Nicely done into Brown, who waits his overlapping runs. Instead, he'll take it. Brown! Nice strong mitt there from Tillett. He's able to keep it away from his own net. And the twos trying to impose themselves here in the dying seconds of this first half.
Nery made the long overlap, and Brown, who has mostly sat in front of the center backs, this time steps forward, takes advantage of the opening, puts the shot in, and Tillett, the 24-year-old, makes a great save in the upper corner.
Some more service from the Spaniard. Here's Armas. Low ball into the heart of the area. Kovac couldn't believe that it ended up getting to his feet. Back the other way we go for Belize. It'll be a crucial counter here in some of the final seconds of this first half. Cut back into the middle of the channel. Lots of filtered runs here as he's got Guerra on that far side. And that will do it for the first half. 3-0 lead for Atlanta United 2s at home here from Marietta, Georgia. Jason Longshore, your thoughts on this first half?
Really good performances for Atlanta United 2 across the board. It's been a lot of the young academy players who have stood out. Isaac, Damola Brown, David Aluvabir, Grayson Armistead, Amir Henry. But you get goals from Kovac, you get a goal from Neri. You're getting some of that veteran side of Atlanta United 2 factoring in on the score sheet. But the kids are kind of forming the foundation.
And Lots more to build upon that foundation as we work our way into the second half. That's Jason Longshore. I'm Joe Fryhofer. Don't go anywhere. We've got another 45 of international friendly footy coming your way from the Children's Healthcare of Atlanta training ground after this. Welcome back to the 404. Happy Saturday morning to you guys. It's Joe Fryhofer alongside the professor of football here in the state of Georgia and beyond, Jason Longshore, as Atlanta United 2 is sitting on a 3-0 lead for Jose Silverball. And we get going now as the twos move from right to left here this morning.
Luvabir, one of the academy players, 15 years old, squares it over to the 16-year-old Ignacio Suarez.
Here comes Suarez once again, laying it off for Armistead, who's able to keep it in play all the way back to Brown. 1-2 between him and Suarez. They'll cycle it all the way back to Edinger.
Don't think there were any changes for the twos at halftime. We're expecting changes around the 60th minute. We'll see if we can pick up any changes for Belize at halftime.
Kovac, what a tighty turn onto his left. Kovac snakes past that far right post. He chopped it around a defender and then onto his weaker boot. Was able to keep it nicely, almost on target. And the twos are knocking already in the second set of 45.
Sure didn't look like his weaker boot with that turn and that confidence. It's the first time we've really had a chance to see for extended minutes Arif Kovac.
Yep.
Dealt with injuries this year. He is so crafty with his feet. You see the size and you think, okay, he's going to be big in the air, but he's so good with the ball at his feet.
Speaking of crafty as well, I've been very impressed in that first 45 from Iggy Suarez. Again, as we had a chance to catch up with Javier Perez during halftime as well. So much young talent on these squads coming up through the ranks. And, of course, when you look at matches like that Leagues Cup match at home, of course, Jason, with so many of the members of the starting 11 coming in off the bench, being products of the twos of the academy as well, it creates nothing but promise and hope for these young guys that take to this international friendly stage here today.
Yeah, it's such an exciting opportunity for somebody like Armistead, who has that pass blocked. With the first team, you have to be on a pro contract to play in those Leagues Cup games to get called up. With the second team, you can be an academy player. You can keep that college eligibility, but you can get that taste of the pro level, and we've seen so much of that this season. Somebody like Ignacio Suarez, who has earned a professional contract as the year has gone on.
Yep.
And players like Gabriel Wisse, who's been one of the best in MLS Next Pro in recent weeks, he's still an academy player who is contributing on the goal-scoring front for the second team in professional matches with MLS Next Pro.
Cooper Sanchez as well, who had his goal up for goal of the match week. And then, of course, the twos, as a side, they have collectively scored 6 goals in just their last 2 matches alone, as we saw them put up 4 against Inter Miami as well. That was an impressive showing. And, of course, a result that the 17s always like to let marinate a little bit.
Little bit. But I think the win over Huntsville City, the next match, it was a double against the Nashville teams. First team got the win in Nashville. Second team got the win in Kennesaw. But 2-0 over one of the best teams in the Eastern Conference. A really strong win for the twos. So we had a heavy challenge there. It was clean as Henry went down.
Oh, and then we see another challenge there.
Edinger with maybe a bit of a receipt.
All the way up front there, there's Henry, who is still down as he received the ball from Nettie. Got a stiff challenge taken down there. It's been pretty controlled in the pocket so far from this match from our head referee, as we've seen 3 cards distributed. Here come the Jaguars inside of the box, trying to work their way and see if they can get on the score sheet here. Deflected service, trying to find it into the heart of the area. It was Lopez making that run right in one-on-one there with Clarkson, the goalkeeper, who, again, hasn't been tested too many times in that first half. But right away in this second half, here come the Jaguars, Jason.
Bernardez was trying to find that opening for Lopez, making the run through the middle. Couldn't quite get the ball through. Well defended. See what the Jaguars can do here off of this corner. More and more we're seeing teams do this kind of setup on an in-swinger. Crowd the 6-yard box, invite some chaos.
Guerra. Looping ball that took a deflection there off of a twos player, so it'll be a corner in again from that same far side as well.
We saw it short that time to Guerra. Maybe this time you're going to send it into the mouth of chaos in front of goal.
And right on cue, right into the mouth it goes. Header on target, just over that crossbar. Oh, that was a big chance for the Jaguars, who are imposing themselves here in this first 5.
The Nimhard, who got on the end of that one. He has 1 goal for the national team during his career. Deshaun Nimhard, part of championship sides in Statesboro, Georgia, with South Georgia Tormenta.
We see over there on that far sideline as well for Belize, 5 different members of this squad starting to get warmed up here, as we could see some cycle changes here into the second half. And again, as we mentioned, Jose Silva, head coach for the Twos, has got lots of options here.
We're going to see a couple of young players for Belize that we're both really excited about seeing.
Suarez, weak boot service filtered right into the feet of Kovac. Tries to turn past 2. But a carpet challenge takes him away. Nicely timed once again by Belize. Tidy dribbles away from pressure as Renault. And here they come galloping onto that transition play that Charlie Slusher said they like to kick it into gear. Higher RPMs should be expected in this second half as they try to win more of the physicality battle. Can't keep their boots on a possession. Brown tries to flick it away from pressure. 5 Stripes climbing on once again.
Bounced up into the hand unintentionally there. Alentz Ayala popped up into his hand, had to be called. I think what we've seen from Belize, and talking to Charlie Slusher yesterday, he wants to see his team play very quickly into the attacking half. Atlanta has defended really well. They've made Belize double back, and that's not necessarily their game.
What a turn from Aluvabert right into the feet of Suarez, who tried to lay it off into the area. Neri was looking for service, but the Jaguars snatched themselves back onto it. Lopez. Nice challenge from the Twos as he stays down. Felt that one for a little bit afterwards. Suarez, we could hear that challenge from up here as well, and that physicality. We mentioned it, Jason. Belize trying to really get stuck in here and let them know that either the ball is going to pass to the man, but not both for the second half.
Yeah, it's the right spirit. I mean, it's aggressive, it's physical. Belize needs to be more physical in these moments.
Aluvabert, nice ball right in to the studs of Kovac, who held it up well, stuck in the back there to hold up play. It'll be Neri making an overlapping run. Henry trying to see if he can get service in towards that far post. Instead, here comes Belize once again bouncing onto the counter. Here comes Lopez. Shrugging off pressure, they'll shred it wide. Here comes Guerra. Couple of step overs, drop of the shoulder. Thought about going byline. Instead, he'll exchange it back. They'll go into the middle. Here's Chi. Held up by Wilson. Touched on by Ayala. And back to Wilson. Guerra calling for a switch there on that far side. We'll see if they can get it. Start to see a little bit less fluidity here from the Twos and a little bit more of positional integrity. Nice switch in the end. They're able to find the feet of Guerra. Here comes Renault. Thought about a filtered ball. Instead, he'll take it all the way byline and then right into the midst of Kolarsson as he snatches it up.
Had the cutback as Bernardez had taken up a really nice spot and gotten away from the back line of Atlanta United 2. But Renault unable to cut that one back to him. A really good ball by Daryl Maivet, the captain, to open things up to the far side to Renault.
Maivet wearing the armband and showing off the service. And speaking of which, we were just talking with Javier Perez there during halftime. They're trying to find a little bit of identity of playing style. And here you're seeing some of those long balls and constant switches into the big target man. Here comes Kovac. Iggy. 1-2 on that far left wing. Brought down once again by Iggy. Flicked over, but just not able to corral it after that second flick. It'll go out for a goal kick.
It was another big switch from Isaac. He is continued on here in the second half. I think the plan was about 60 minutes for him. Look, that's part of the process. A young player who feels a little something, and maybe in an academy game you come out, but I think Jose Silva and the coaching staff is saying, hey, you need to learn how to play through this when you're not quite 100%. Can you do it? You're not going to risk any further injury. Can you play through it? And he is so far. It's good to see.
Some of the first team alumni members in the crowd as well for Atlanta United, Jay Fortune and Matt Edwards, as we see Belize squeezing one in, try to get a spinning flick onto that far post. And the Twos will almost let it trickle out of the end line. That was a golden opportunity for Belize as they continue to knock.
They're starting to get a little more north-south, which is, again, what Charlie Slusher wants his identity for his national team to be. He's only been in the job for a little over a year. So you're really starting to see what worked for him at Port Loyola, where he won the Belize Premier League last season, got the national team job. You're starting to see that identity come through. It's not consistent yet, but that's what he wants. More north-south, get forward into the attacking half, be more dynamic in those moments.
Armistead all the way back for Ettinger, and it'll make it all the way back to Clarkson as they try and play out of the back here, the five stripes.
Good challenge there. Louisbeer unable to hold on to it.
Jaguars are back onto it, but they rush the delivery, trying to go over the top. All the way back to Clarkson. We'd be remiss today if we didn't give a shout out to our production crew as well. We've got Gabe behind the sticks leading the lines here today. We've got plenty of camera angles for you guys to enjoy as well. We want to give a massive thank you to the Belize National Team and Tourism Board for making this stream possible.
Good tackle there. Suarez tried to break. Ettinger wins it back again.
And look at this as he just melts around the pressure of two. Armistead tucks service into the middle. Louisbeer exchanges with Brown, showing his netty. Tried to turn past one, but that's a nice challenge there. Nemhard as he's able to get it back. Galloping forward comes Belize. Guerra gets the ball under his feet, one-on-one with Neri, who's working all the way back and trying to make a defensive mark.
Good read from Brown.
Corralled by Brown and dangerously given away. Here comes Belize once again. He had a couple of short options. He'll loft it long, but there's nobody there at that far second post. Once again, the Jaguars, so far, Jason, in this first 10 minutes, have really shown up in the attacking final third.
Yeah, Atlanta United 2 hasn't gotten going here in the second half. It's been Belize dictating the way the match is playing out right now. Trying to get something to show for it, though.
Here's Chi. Held back as Lopez as he escapes pressure. Chip ball in over the top from Nemhard as they'll switch it to that far side for Guerra. Thought about the first time service. Dances over the top of the ball. Thought about trying to flick one in towards the back post. It's Bernardes who wanted service there as they tried to find him at that back post. They'll win the second ball, but it's escorted nicely by Armistead, who has a fancy four-headed flick, and he's able to clear it away. It'll be a throw for Belize. Wilson.
I've liked Wilson since he checked in the first half. Naeem Wilson, nicknamed Nemo. Really impressed with him in the back line.
And they've been able to find him a little bit more in this second half as well. Suarez. Back for Armistead, and then they'll work it into Brown. Jose Silva, you can hear his orders from up here in our broadcast booth as well, trying to iron out their final tactics as they get ready for Carolina Core in league play. Here's Armistead. Sifting ball in, filter towards that back line, but till it comes off of it, safely into his mitts. And once again, Jason, that verticality as they try and step on the gas.
Yeah, it's what Belize wants to be, and I'm glad we're seeing more of it. I think maybe they were a little overwhelmed in the early going. Now you're starting to see their identity come out. Here they come.
Take a look at this. Guerra with lots of space. Low ball, tried to find in towards that front post. We see the twos giving some orders here in this back line as well.
We're going to see a substitution here for Belize, a player that, as we started to dig into this roster, somebody that I wanted to see get on the field today. He's going to replace Andre Chi. Marlon Mesa Jr., 16 years old. He's just recently moved to the Mount Pleasant Academy in Jamaica. He earned his first cap for the senior national team at 15, the youngest ever for the Belize national team. Wearing the number 21, he just checks in here.
And this is why I call you the professor. We'll see if we can get that to stick after the broadcast here today as we approach the 60-minute mark. Lofting in-swinger in towards the heart of the area. Clarkson rises and snatches.
Nice work from Clarkson. He's been really good at commanding his 18. You always wonder about young goalkeepers and how they handle crosses, how they handle those moments. He's been excellent.
It also helps as well as he welcomes the ball onto his studs to have a guy like Javi Armas back there as well, just a key organizational piece to lead that defensive spine. Look at this ball trickling in through the back line. Rodrigo Neri tried to stick in the shoulder and see if he could gallop onto it. It'll go out for a twos throw as we see. Looks like a couple of twos are getting ready to step in as well, Jason. And just like we expected, we're hitting that 60-minute mark. Jose Silva dipping into Silva ball to see if he can bring in some added weaponry and add on to this 3-0 lead.
Yeah, more than a couple. There's going to be quite a few subs here at the 60-minute mark or so. But this group's going to try to find one more for Atlanta.
Speaking of that play style, here it comes again. Knotted on, trying to find the run of Suarez. He'll show that work rate once again, Jason, and you said it, a way to stick out. You can't control everything, of course. Suarez has had that lovely finish earlier in that first half, but something that you can also do to make yourself stick out, the work rate, the tracking back, the defensive help that he's done plenty of. Here's Armstead, gallops it onto his left boot, lofted ball in, trying to find Kovac at the back post. And look at Belize. Not a worry in the world as they play out of that situation from the back.
That was excellent work from Tillett, the goalkeeper.
Tidy touch with the toes here, and here come the Jaguars. Nice balls. It makes its way all the way out to Bernardes. Crashing run. He's got a chance. He'll go for goal. Finishes. The Jaguars jump back into this one, make it 3-1, and here come Belize.
Great finish from Bernardes, the veteran of the Honduran First Division. He's got almost 50 goals in the Primera in Honduras, but the whole sequence started with brave play out of the back and then finding Mesa, who flipped the field on the dribble. He gets the assist after just coming into the match. Bernardes with the goal, and it's 3-1, and we're going to get basically a line change for Atlanta United too. So now it's going to be interesting. You have a whole group of players coming on. The entire 10 are going to change out. So you have a group that's going to play 30 minutes or so. They've got to find a rhythm very quickly against a team now in Belize that is feeling it after that goal.
What a way to jump right into the water as well. Cannonball into this as momentum is starting to shift as we approach the 62nd minute mark. And like you said, Jason, on Gallup, some fresh feet here for the twos as I make out the likes of Aiden Torres, Ashton Gordon, Mazzaferro there rounding out that back line as well. There's weaponry in this two side.
Yeah, let's see if we can get the lineup situated here. It's going to be Toto Majub on the left, Sal Mazzaferro in the middle, Ronan Wynn on the right side of the three, Ashton Gordon on the left side as a wing back. In the midfield, it's Aiden Torres and Didi Cibrian as the right wing back. We can get over there. It's going to be Moises Tablante. Gabriel Wise will come into the team in one of those 10 roles. Amir Henry's going to stay on the field for the twos, and Patrick Weah goes up top. Here's Wise, who has been brilliant for Atlanta United too as of late. Another academy player, 17 years old, one of the old men from the academy.
Not many of them today with this roster.
No.
Here comes Torres. He'll exchange it out here to this far left wing for Ashton Gordon, who, of course, has had a lot of valuable experience in and out between that first team and has done some preseason as well. Also a Jamaican international with some experience there, too.
Yeah, Gordon trying to earn time with Jamaican youth national teams. You've quite a few players in this group that is going for that.
Belize will once again try and get out of their back line as the twos chest it down.
Good touch for Mesa, settling that down for Belize.
Again, Mesa, one of the young men, one of the countless ones that you've got to watch today here in this matchup. As we see the Jaguars trying to jog onto the counter, but the ball will get away from him. We'll go back the other way for the twos.
Yeah, that's the key for a program like Belize, is getting those young players coming through. You know, Mesa scored 4 goals for the U17s in his 4 appearances for them. He's been explosive, and we saw it straight away on the assist. He's a player that before that move to Mount Pleasant in Jamaica was being scouted heavily and reportedly by clubs in the U.S. He's going to turn some heads with these kinds of performances. I mean, you heard it from the Belize fans who are here when he takes off. It's like, go 21, go 21. He's already known at 16 in Belize.
Remarkable. Here comes yet another switch into this far end. We'll get his boots onto it. 1-2 there with Torres.
Speaking of somebody who's known, Toto Majub in Uganda. He has really come to the fore with Atlanta United too as of late. He got a goal last time out, the one that kind of put them over the top against Huntsville City.
Long ball right into the heart of the area. Seeing if the twos can get onto it. A second chance trickled ball all the way in there for Henry, who couldn't quite climb onto it. Belize will take it the other way.
Yeah, the entire line change with the exception of Henry. Got to try to build a little bit of a rhythm if you're this group for Atlanta United too. Maybe a few more veterans in the group, but then some young players as well.
Mazzaferro climbing all the way back. Nicely timed challenge there from Sal.
Big Sal, he's taken the captain's armband as of late for Atlanta United to really set the tone for this group. A wayward pass there, but Mazzaferro, we've talked to Jose Silva about it. The young players, whether we're talking somebody young like Toto Majub at 19, the academy players, they gravitate to Mazzaferro, somebody who's won MLS Next Pro in Austin, played in the college system here in the U.S., but is just a solid pro and a solid leader.
Here come Belize. Shrug down there. Big Sal says, not so fast. Gets away from him right onto the end line. Are they able to clear it away?
Yes, yes.
They are.
Majub got to it. Bernardez wanted the penalty. Was never going to get that as Sal used his body very well. But then it stayed alive for Belize. They almost found a second.
You talked about it, Jason. Jumping right into this match with no momentum and cold feet. That right there, that's an opportunity where you got to get organized quick in this one.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough to match the intensity of a team in Belize who is excited after scoring one. They're only 2 goals down. You know, you see games at this level, and they can be absolutely chaotic. 2-goal leads are not safe at this level.
The Jaguars starting to show some of their predator-like traits here in this one as we see a nice touch into that far byline. Welcome down to the feet of Gordon. He'll instead stretch play and try to filter one through into the heart of the area. Belize dangerously once again, but getting out of that pressure as they jog away from the twos. Here comes Torres to help out Gordon. Torres will take it in. Weah all goes down on a stiff challenge there, but referee says play on.
Wilson got enough of the ball there in that challenge. It was nice.
Cibrian stepped up nicely. Here's Toto.
Yeah, I think Wilson in that challenge on Weah, he might have gotten the worst of it.
Oof.
But he made a very necessary play inside the 18. Been really impressive since coming on. See if it's just a contact issue. I think it is. But possibly been stepped on in that moment. See if the trainers come on to check him out.
If
yeah,
you're
they
a defender
will.
as well, it's all about the art of timing. And, of course, he stuck in that challenge perfectly. There was only one quick window of a hair of a few seconds, and he was able to get in.
I want to mention a little bit about the Atlanta United 2 substitutions who have come on, especially somebody like Didi Cibrian. And we talked about all the young talent in the midfield in the first group. It's easy to forget, especially when you watch him play. Didi's 15.
Jeez.
15, and he has been a regular with Atlanta United 2 as of late. He's played 7 games in Next Pro, 5 starts. Such a good player in that midfield. And think about the central midfield right now for Atlanta United, just on the homegrown and academy and young side. So to start this one, we saw Iluvabir, who we both really liked at 15 years old.
Yeah.
Demola Brown, who's a high school junior. They started the game. Both were excellent. Now you have Didi Cibrian, who is 15. You have old man Aiden Torres at 17, who is battling with another old man in Cooper Sanchez, who's on a first-team deal at 17. There's Will Riley, who is with a cane at this point, coming out of college, who's another homegrown in midfield. You know, this is a group who will be pushing Steven Alzate and Bartosz Schlich and Tristan Muyumba for minutes over this next year. That's so deep in the middle of the midfield right now coming out of this academy.
Never thought I'd say I'm starting to feel washed at age 27, but with this age difference here on the call,
man. Come on now.
It's starting to get to us here a little bit.
You got the kids balling out here in this one.
Goodness me.
Whole bunch more coming. That's what's so cool about talking to Javier Perez and talking about where this academy is. The talent pipeline is very, very strong right now. Academy season just getting underway in MLS Next. This is the first weekend of the season. We're going to have games for you on atlutd.com/live and a lot of coverage of the academy teams as more and more you're going to see these players factor into the twos, and more you're going to see these players factor into the first team, maybe starting with preseason next year, because we know Ronnie Dyla has no problem playing young players.
Jason Longshore, John Nelson, Matty Cruz, some names to note as well. Some of the outstanding journalists who follow these Academy and Twos teams from top to bottom outside of the first team as well. As we work our way in here, we're approaching that 70th minute mark. Belize will work out of the back. It's Jones lifting it on towards Lopez. Despite his stature there at 5'7", was able to get a flicking header on. Out we come the other way, back with Torres, who welcomes pressure on now towards Big Sal. Torres turns to Toto. It'll be interesting as well, Jason, to see how with the shifted lineup, as we see a lofted ball in towards that far side, but till it comes off his line nicely, just to see how some of this play style, given the 11 that's out there right now for both sides, shifts a little bit into the second half.
The overall style will be the same. They're still in the 3-4-2-1. They're going to do the similar things, but look, when you change the ingredients, things come out a little bit differently. And I want to see what gets accentuated with some of this group, especially somebody like Toto, who has no problem bombing forward and turning into an extra attacker. Wynn can do the same on the right. That gives you a little bit different element.
Here comes Torres, waiting for that run of Weah. Just couldn't time it up quite right. So he couldn't stick his boot out to gather it up. Belize will let it go all the way out for a goal kick.
So if we're going to continue the brunch analogy, as we have all day today, Jose Silva cooking up the tortilla española. You know the tortilla española very well from your time in Spain.
Now with or without onion?
Well, that's the thing. I don't know. Maybe the first group was with. Maybe the second group is without. But it's still a tortilla española, right?
It is. Pulling out the cookbook, Jason Longshore, in the second half. Just so you guys know, he's been waiting to pull that one out as well. He talked to me in the halftime.
I missed it in the first half. I got it in the second half.
There's been some benefits of working an earlier kickoff with Jason Longshore. I can now say I know what his coffee order is here today as well. I won't reveal that. You're going to have to do some more Big J journalism if you want to find out the recipe for that. But here come Belize, the Jaguars. They'll shift play over to this near side towards us. They've been calm and collected out of that back line. The 1-2 between Jones, pressure, shrugging there is Wilson, who, as he tries to escape it. Just a bit too much shoving. I'll say retake.
Yeah, good to see Wilson back on the field after really good performance early on. Had that big challenge on Weah, felt the effects of it, but he's back on the field. Strong player for this Belize group.
Toto exchanging with Torres. Into the middle. Down goes Henry there.
Brandon Jones, one of the substitutes, committing that foul.
Torres wanted to take it quickly. He's able to get it out from his feet. Gordon back for Toto. Something's got to be said as well, Jason, just the remarkable support of, we're used to it by now, the 17s, the best fans in the league, but the way that this Twos team has been received so far this season, in every season rather, just a remarkable following and passion from the 17s that is really starting to climb in now with their momentum of playing so well this season.
Hashtag up the Twos.
Up the Twos, as we see the Twos with a good chance here. Filtered ball into the middle, trying to find the feet of Weah as he escapes past a couple of defenders. But Belize snatches possession away from him. Here's Salazar, who's working his way into the second half and seeing his first few minutes of this matchup here today. Escorted nicely by the Twos as they're able to keep possession as well. Back come the Jaguars.
Salazar with Major League Soccer experience, bringing that to this Belize national team, was drafted by Montreal, spent some time in Houston as well. Another veteran of the program. 23 caps, 3 goals. Salazar, when he went to the then Montreal Impact, really impressive player, just couldn't quite stick at that level.
Here come Jose Silva's Twos once again. Gathered long shot way from distance there as they try to impose themselves a little bit more, but Tillett low down to it with a nice kick save.
The increased confidence from Gabriel Wiese that we have seen develop in 2025. I think with the increased size and strength as well. When he first broke in with the Twos, he's not the same player physically now than he was then, just earlier this season. But now in this 3-4-2-1, he's comfortable cutting inside. He's comfortable being a 10. He's comfortable with that shot from distance. 3 goals, 4 assists in Next Pro this year for Wiese, the 17-year-old.
Another name we haven't quite said so far yet today, of course, Moises Tablante, The Venezuelan, Jason, Arepa Power, of course, as he's got 5 goals this season, right on cue. Look at that. The beautiful game is always poetic as he cuts in towards his left boot there, his favored left boot. Goes down, free kick yet again in a dangerous position here for the Venezolano.
Moises Tablante set what has to be a record, scored a goal in the same match in 2 different stadiums on 2 different dates. Same match.
What?
Atlanta United 2 had a match that started in Kennesaw on a Sunday and finished at Mercedes-Benz Stadium on a Monday morning, and Tablante scored in both locations.
Speaking of locations, this is a dangerous spot as well, as we see Tablante over it right now.
We say there as well. Both can go to goal from here. It's kind of like the one we saw in the first half where it's wide, so the angle's a little tricky. They have the ability to go to goal, but then you've got Wynn, you've got Weah, you've got Masafero on the back post.
Looks like Tablante heard his suggestions, but in the end, he's going to take it. It's Tablante! Finish! Moises Tablante, Arepa Power from distance, takes a favored deflection and finds the back of the net. Make it 4-1 in the 404.
Really well struck by Tablante, grazed off the wall. Nothing that Tillett could do. Moises Tablante, he's another one who has really grown into the role that Jose Silva has kind of provided for him with a lot of young players pushing for minutes. Tablante's turned into that player that can come in and be one of the 10s. He can be a wing back. He can play as a fullback if you go to a line of 4. He can play as a traditional winger. And he's been impactful every time he's been on the pitch.
To the 76th minute we go here. Jaguars will play from left to right. Something that always fascinates me as well, I'd love to hear, Jason, just the Spanglish orders from Jose Silva as well. Sometimes it's in English, sometimes it's in Spanish with a few of his players. The chemistry and connection that he's had with this group of, although this is his interim stay, he's been with this crew for a while.
Yeah, came to Atlanta as part of the academy coaching staff, won a Coach of the Year award in the UPSL Premier Division in the state of Georgia with the U19s at that time, joined the coaching staff with Steve Cook. And we see it so often. Steve Cook gets the great opportunity to go into a director role with Lexington SC in the USL. And Jose steps up, and he's been so involved up to this point. There really wasn't much of a transition outside of Jose being the one who maybe has to give that motivational speech. Maybe has more of the man management side that he wasn't doing before. He was doing a lot of the work on the training pitch, a lot of the scouting, and the team has really responded to him so well.
Torres, low ball in towards that far post for Gordon. Found the tracking run of Weah there in the middle. Deflected away there by the Belize back line. It'll be a corner for the Twos.
Gordon, a player who has struggled with injuries this season, was, as you mentioned, part of the first team in preseason quite a bit. Played a lot with Jamaica's youth national teams last year, even getting up to the U20 group with them. He's only 18, born in Decatur, but he's struggled to get going this year because of those injuries. He's healthy now, and he's going to compete both here with the Twos for time down the stretch, but he can also play some games in the academy as well. And it's part of the development cycle. You need him to push for time with the Twos, but when he plays for the academy, he needs to light it up, and he needs to dominate in those moments.
Grew up watching Chelsea with his father as well. Loved the movement of Eden Hazard as a young kid. And of course, he is so shifty on the ball as well. Speaking of shifty, here come the Twos again to see if they can try and get some good service into the heart of the area. Low ball, trying to find the feet of Weah. Escapes pressure. Henry goes for goal. Couple of calls for handball. Their tricky body positioning there, Jason, at this stage of the game. They're just going to let it go as we approach the 80-minute mark. Here comes Guerra, who's been out there working end-to-end so far this whole match. Belize stays on possession. Tried the long shot, a shove from the back there. It'll be a free kick the other way. Can the Jaguars match the long-distance quality of the Twos in this one?
Yeah, Wynn commits the foul there in the build-up. Shouts for a handball in that block from Wilson as a yellow card is shown, I think, to Masafero for time wasting. I don't think Wilson tried to make himself bigger on that block. I think it was a little bit more of the ball hitting him as opposed to him trying to block it with an extended arm. It's tough. We don't really know what a handball is anymore, and every referee calls it different. It's a judgment call. I think you're absolutely justifiable in not calling it there in that moment.
So here we go, 2 over it right now, and yet again,
Jalen Lennon checks out for Belize. And Jordan Casanova, the 21-year-old from Belmopan, checks in. Another substitution as well. Another one of the young players, Eddie Williams, 16 years old. He has not made an appearance in an official competition for Belize at the senior national team level. Has been a star in the academy leagues in Belize with Westline FC. He's wearing the number 17, another one that we were hoping to see.
On goal, on target, nice save from Clarkson in the end.
That was a good hit. I think it took a deflection as well, and Clarkson makes it look easy with the catch. Good hands from Ruben Clarkson.
Some fizzing pace on that free kick as well.
Yeah, struck well by Salazar.
Gordon works it back for Toto. Up comes Big Sal. 10 to go here, not counting additional time, as Torres shows there in the middle. Torres, again, just has that remarkable ability to be constantly scanning, constantly knowing his surroundings. We say carves into the middle. Found the filtered run here of Weah offside. Possession goes the other way for Belize.
A little jump start from Wise, kicked the leg up high. Like he was revving up the motorcycle. Love to see the confidence that he has gained by being a key player for Atlanta United 2 this season. Something this Belize team is trying to build in confidence. And it's something that we talked to Charlie Slusher about yesterday. You have these new players, you have these players who maybe haven't been a regular part of the pool in this group today. You're not going to be happy about the scoreline, but there's good moments in it that you're going to look to build on as he continues to put his stamp on the program. And you try to build a program that, you know, the population of Belize is less than 500,000. You have a small player pool. They're starting to find some young players like Williams, like Meza, who are breaking through, and he's got to nurture that and continue to develop it. The future can be bright for Belize in CONCACAF.
Toto will gather and take it all the way back. And you mentioned, of course, that 500,000 population of Belize as well. The Jaguars, a shout out to one of our executive producers, Matt Moore, on the broadcast as we had the chance to catch up with Charlie Slusher and some of the members of their tourism board. They are home to the only Jaguar reserve in the world, of course. So taking that name into fruition there. A shot on target, but gathered up nicely by the Belize back line.
Good save from Tillett, then it was knocked back to him by Casanova. Another one of those young players starting to come through. Tillett as well, I mean, goalkeeper at 24. You have a new generation starting to break through for this team. It was very cool to talk to Charlie Slusher about, you know, kind of his vision for how it wants to go. It was fun to talk to him as well about a player who he played with in the national team who represented an Atlanta club, the only Belize national team player to play professionally in Atlanta's soccer history. Dion McCauley, the all-time leading goal scorer for the Belize national team program, 28 goals. Here's your bit of trivia. He was tied for the Golden Boot in World Cup qualifying for the 2014 edition. He scored 11 goals in World Cup qualifying, tied for the Golden Boot internationally in qualifying for that tournament.
Goodness me, and the likes of some of the players in that World Cup, of course, playing out that position. You think of guys like Robin Van Persie, Cahill for Australia as well. I can think of the iconic combo punch celebration there in the corner as well.
He was on fire in that World Cup qualifying campaign, and that cycle for Belize, that's what this group is going to try to match in the next cycle. That group for Belize, they got to a Gold Cup in 2013. They made a run in qualifying and had a player in McCauley who was that good for that team, turned a lot of heads, came here to play in Atlanta with the Silverbacks, a team that went to the quarterfinals of the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup.
Wow.
Dion McCauley was part of that group here in Atlanta and is that kind of star that these players are trying to aspire to.
Chase Longshore unloading the knowledge here as we see Eddie goes into the pocketbook here, 17 of Belize.
It's the young player, 16 years old.
Just 16, huh?
16, making his really first appearance for the senior national team. A little reckless there on Masafero. That was okay.
Of course, 3 decades of experience as a coach and player. He traveled to some other countries as well, went to Brazil, went to Holland a little bit to get some of his coaching licenses. And this, I always like to say, Jason, we're in an era right now of just the football eclipse. Such an important time of influence with the World Cup coming here to the United States and being able to share this stage with the Belize national team. We, on behalf of Atlanta United and this partnership, are honored to have you guys here in the 404 and to put this show on stage for everybody viewing, whether you're on YouTube, X, or Facebook with us today on this lovely Saturday. Thanks for watching. Aiden Torres switches it on to his favorite right foot. He'll go all the way wide towards Tablante. Drop of the shoulder. He'll keep it with his left. Trickling ball in towards that end line. Just too much on it. It'll be a goal kick for Tillett.
Just a little bit too much on that one from Wise, trying to send Tablante in. You'll be able to watch Belize as they play in CONCACAF Nations League, as their clubs play in the CONCACAF competitions as well. CONCACAF has a lot of those broadcasts on YouTube. And getting to know this team and getting to know Charlie Slusher a little bit, I want to see how their development continues through this cycle.
All the way back to Mazafero. Toto shows and receives. Cyprian. Tablante into Wise. Flares his boots over it. Took the option of the overlapping run. Look at Torres. Lets it go through. Thought about a crack. Here's Henry into the boots of Weah. Back post. Nobody made the run. Another silky bit of buildup, and that one managed to stay in on that sideline. It'll be a throw in a dangerous position.
Yeah, we might tell you that he was crossing there. I think he was wanting to shoot and just pulled it a bit, but it was Toto Majup, a center back, making that run through. He's such a wild card for this team as a center back because Jose Silva gives him the freedom to go forward and make those things happen.
And here's Henry. Look where he finds himself with service. Top of the box. Here's Tablante. Cuts and goes byline into the middle. Torres! Make it 5 for the 5 Stripes. Atlanta United 2 continuing to carry on this strong momentum here in this match.
Go back to Amir Henry, who drew the short straw, going the full 90 this morning. He starts the sequence. Tablante takes it to the end line, gets his head up, cuts it back. Torres, enough power on the shot to get through the deflection, ends up in the back of the net. A good one for Aiden Torres, who, as we mentioned, that crowded central midfield room for Atlanta United and Atlanta United 2, he's got to make an impression in these opportunities because he's competing with Didi Cibrian, he's competing with Cooper Sanchez, he's competing with the guys that we saw in the first half now, and that's a big moment for him, trying to make more of his time here in Atlanta and get more minutes with whether it's the second team or pushing into that first team group next year.
Former MLS Next Pro All-Star. Of course, he's got a Portuguese passport as well. Such a good head on his shoulders as well. I can remember the very first piece that we did with him. I was blown away by his age, as I am with half of the guys that are out here on the field today, but just the way that he conducts himself. So many countless class young professionals out on the field and a part of this 5 Stripes family that makes it proud for us to don this crest. Long ball all the way in over the top to Guerra, offsides.
Right in front of the bench, and they disagreed with the AR's assessment on the opposite side.
Head coach Charlie had a good view of it right there as well. Felt as though he was almost following the run himself, as if he was ready to take a touch. Torres will melt his way all the way back in and switch it to Toto. Couldn't quite get it around, and on pounce Eddie. Low ball, taking down Lopez, tried to gather it up, couldn't quite get it. Back in towards Eddie. The lay it off in towards Guerra, who has been, Jason, on every last strand of grass out here on this pitch here today. He has emptied the tank for this side, taken down by Casanova, all the way back to Gordon.
I really like Najib Guerra. You know, we were told by Coach Slusher that he is one of the key players for this group, one of the veterans. He sets the tone for what this team wants to be. always on the front foot, always aggressive. And you're seeing guys like Eddie Williams and Marlon Mesa kind of take that up.
Silverball elects to play out from the back. Weah holds up possession nicely, steps on the gas and makes a turn past 2. Can't quite get past 3, but there's Torres with his outstanding positioning once again. We say, chopped into the middle. Torres overlaps. Tried to find Weah once again. He's been making a lot of those similar runs, Jason, right into the heart of the 6, but they just can't quite keep it on the carpet to him.
I think what we've seen from Patrick Weah with Atlanta United 2 this season, he has been his best when he's been back to goal and able to turn. He's so explosive on the turn, whether it's the half turn or the full turn. We saw it there at midfield. I think the next step for him is those runs off the ball and the timing building with him and the other players. But if you can get him back to goal with a defender on his back, that defender's in trouble.
Casanova. We got a twos player down here as well, right in the center circle.
It's Amir Henry who's tired because he's played the whole 90.
We'll keep playing on for now.
Amir's like, come on, guys.
And that will do it. It's full time. Atlanta United 2-5. Belize 1. Jose Silverball continues to fly here in the 404. Jason Longshore, it has been a pleasure calling this one with you. Your final thoughts from the international friendly stage here in Marietta.
Atlanta United 2, the Atlanta United Academy, they got what they wanted out of this. Good performances, a lot of minutes for a lot of players. A lot of players really stood out. David Aluvabert, Demola Brown, Ignacio Suarez, good goals from the first group. The second group comes in Aiden Torres with a big moment as well. But for Belize, this is a team that in CONCACAF at their level, they're starting to solidify themselves. I'm really excited that they have the partnership with Atlanta United, and I'm really excited about the young talent that Charlie Slusher is building with this program. One to watch in CONCACAF. They can be all of our second teams in CONCACAF.
That's right.
We can support them in Nations League, especially as they try to stay in that B level and try to qualify for the next Gold Cup.
On behalf of Jason Longshore, I'm Joe Fryhofer. On behalf of our entire crew as well, we got a couple of members making the drive all the way from Chattanooga. Whether you're 17, whether you're all the way over in Belize or wherever you are in the world, thanks for starting your day with a beautiful game. On behalf of Atlanta United, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you on the next one.